Curious George discovers the stars. Have you ever wondered how many stars there are in the sky? George has, especially when he is in the country. In the country, the summer nights are cool. You can hear frogs croaking, and the sky is full of stars. One night, George was outside looking at the sky when he heard Bill's voice. "Hi, George. It's a great night for stargazing," Bill called from his window. But George wasn't just looking at the stars. He was trying to figure out how many stars were in the sky. There must be hundreds. Not even scientists know how many stars are up there, Bill said. George thought it was time somebody found out. George knew the most important rule of counting anything was keeping track. He found a notepad and pencil and made a mark for each star as he counted it. There were so many stars to keep track of, but he kept at it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But George fell asleep mid-count. That was okay. After a good night's rest, he would be ready to start counting again the next night. There was only one problem. His counting system didn't keep track of which stars he already counted. So last night's didn't count. George figured the only way he could count the stars without losing track was to count all the stars really fast before he fell asleep. But George wasn't fast enough. Bill stopped by the following day. "Morning, fellas," the man waved, but George still felt sleepy. George was up late counting stars, the man said. "Too bad you can't count stars during the day. They were always up there, you know," Bill said. "We just can't see them because the sun is so bright." George wasn't sure. He wondered what really happened to the stars during the day. Maybe they went to sleep or got blown out like candles on the birthday cake. Wherever they went, George couldn't count stars he couldn't see. There were lots of differences between the sky during the day and the sky at night, the man said. "We can see the moon and the stars at night, but we can see the sun only during the day." "Right," said Bill, "because at night the sun is shining on the other side of Earth. When it's nighttime here, it's daytime there." When it came to day sky and night sky, George was sure about two things. He couldn't count stars during the day, and he couldn't count all the stars in one night, but he wasn't going to give up. George took a good long look at the night sky. The stars were scattered around like confetti, and like with confetti, there wasn't a pattern to a way they were arranged. Unless George noticed a group of stars that looked familiar. They looked like a big upside-down cap. George could use this star shape as a placekeeper. He counted the stars below it and marked them on his pad. Then he counted the stars above it and on each side. George had a system. He could use star shapes to keep track of which stars he had already counted. When he got tired, he could go to bed and know where he left off for the next night's count. At the end of the week, it was time for George and the men to return to the city. George had made a lot of progress on his star counting, and now that he had the system, he could count stars in the city too. "Big hot city, here we come," the man said. The city was very hot. George couldn't wait to get into the cool air-conditioning lobby. But it was just as warm inside their building as it was outside. "Is the air conditioner broken?" the man asked. "No," said the doorman, "but we're not allowed to use it. You have to keep yours up in your apartment too." George wondered why. Too many air conditioners running at once uses a lot of electricity. It can cause the power to go out, the man said. "I guess we'll be a little warm tonight." But George wasn't worried about electricity and being too hot. He had stars to count. George knew he would have a great view of the sky from the roof, but when he got up there and looked around, he noticed something strange. In the city, he couldn't see any stars at all. George went back to the apartment to see his friend. It's tough to count stars in the big bright city, the man explained. George was confused. It's like trying to count stars during the daytime. They're up there, but we can't see them. With no stars to count, George figured he might as well go to bed, but it was too hot to sleep. The one time he could have to stay awake all night long to count. He couldn't see a single star. George took a walk to the balcony. His neighbors had their air conditioners on. George could hear them humming. Would it really hurt if he turned their AC on for a minute? The cold air felt good on George's face, but a moment later, the AC and all the lights in the apartment went out. George ran back up to the roof. Uh-oh, the lights were out in all the buildings around them. Could one curious little monkey cause a city-wide blackout? George didn't know, but there was only one thing to do at a time like this: hide. Before long, the man found George in his hiding spot. George was upset about turning off the city's electricity. It wasn't your fault, George, the man said. It takes more than one little monkey to cause a blackout. Just then, the doorman and Huntley joined them on the roof. The blackout was really something, isn't it? The doorman asked. Yes, said the man, but George thinks the blackout was his fault. He turned on our air conditioner. I thought it was my fault too, said the doorman. Huntley's was so hot. I turned on our AC for just a minute, then all the lights went out. I bet a lot of people thought the same thing. George was relieved. The end.